Good morning, friends. How are you? Oh, all of you are fine. Today we discuss about the today we discuss about the plot three, the meaning of demand. What is demand? In economics, demand refers to the willingness and ability of a consumer to buy goods and services at a specific time. Economics use the term demand to indicate that consumers need particular goods or service and are willing to buy them at the price they are at the time of demand. It means in if we see in economics, demand concept that relates to a consumer desire to purchase goods and services and willingness to pay a specific time for them. An increase in the price of a good or service tends to decrease the quantity demanded. I think you well what is the demand. Now, the definition of demand. Demand refers to different possible quantities of a commodity that a consumer is ready to buy at a given price and at a given time. Now, understanding the concept of demand and its features. Has you seen here, the terms demand is different from desire, wants, will, or wish. In the language of economics, demand has different meaning. Any want or desire will not be continued demand. Demand, if you take the meaning of demand, demand is equal to desire to pay. First of all, if you want to demand it anything, so you have to desire to buy. Now, ability to pay. Suppose I want to purchase anything, but I have no ability to purchase it. So, for the demand, it should be ability to pay. Now, next plus willingness to pay. And I have money, but I don't want to pay it. So, for the demand, it should be willingness to pay. Now, plus time. Time. What is the time when I am demanding for that at given price? What is the price? Which price is given, and on that price we are desire to pay, ability to pay, and willingness to pay. So the demand for any commodity. Uh, the terms demand refers to total or given quantity of a commodity or a service that are purchased by the consumer in the market at a particular price and at a particular time. Now, the demand, we can say in the brief, we can say the demand for any commodity is its quantity which consumers are able and willing to buy at various prices during a given period of time. Uh, there are many there should be many importance qualities of the demand as it is backed up by adequate purchasing power. This demand on the purchasing power. If you are willing anything, I have I have the purchasing power to buy that good. Next, it is always at a price, a given price. I am ready. Yeah, a consumer is ready to buy this demand. Uh, next, it should always be expressed in terms of specific quantity. What quantity we any consumer want to buy and willing to pay. Next, it is created in a market. Demand is also related a place, a market, place, and it is related to a person, place, and time. You can say that consumer creates demand, and demand basically depend on the on utility of a product. There is a direct relationship between the two. Higher the utility and higher would be demand, and lower the utility, lower would be demand. The concept of utility I have also described before the videos, and you can also see there. Now, I think, student, you have to understood what is the meaning of demand. Now we discuss about the demand schedule of the demand. The table with the in this table, the table showing the relationship between different quantities of a commodity to be purchased at a different prices of that commodity is known as demand schedule. Uh, uh, types of demand schedule: individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. In this table, you are seeing the individual demand schedule. First of all, I explain you what is the demand schedule. What is the individual demand schedule? Individual demand schedule refers to demand schedule of an individual buyer of a commodity in the market. It shows it shows quantity of a commodity which an individual buyers buys while at different possible prices of that commodity at a point of time. As you are also seeing in this schedule, suppose the price of a ice cream is 1 rupee. The buyer uh, demanded quantity 4 units. And when the price become 2 rupees, the price of the ice cream become 2 rupees. Now the individual buyer demanded the quantity 3 units. Now the price of the ice cream increases and it become 3 rupees. Now the buyer uh, demanded the quantity of units 2, only 2. Now, when the price become higher and it become 4 rupees, now the individual buyer demanded only 1 rupees. In this, in this schedule, you can also see when the prices increases, demand decrease, and when the price decrease, demand is increase. I think you have to understood what is the individual demand. Now, I also explained what is the market demand schedule. Market demand schedule, uh, as you are seeing this table, it is a table showing different quantity of a commodity that all buyers in the market demand schedule, there are many buyers. Yeah, all buyers in the markets are ready to buy at a different possible prices of the commodity at a time point of time. It means as different buyers wanted to buy a particular things, and different buyers have a different ability, different willingness, different desire to buy. So the demand of a particular things should will be different. As you also see in this table, uh, price of a ice cream is 1 rupee, and as जो डिमांड है वो पर्टिकुलर जो डिमांड है वो डिफरेंट है, जैसे 1 रुपी पर 4 डिमांड है, और क्वांटिटी जो क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड है, मतलब सॉरी, सपोज जो डिमांडेड है, जो A रुपी है उस पर डिफरेंट है, जो B रुपी है उस पर डिफरेंट है. As is seen in the table of the market demand schedule, uh, uh, when the demand schedule of the all buyers are taken together, we get the aggregates or market demand schedule. In other words, the total quantity of a commodity demanded at different prices in a market by the whole body of consumer at a particular period of time is called market demand schedule. It refers to the aggregate behavior of the entire market rather than mere totaling of individual demand schedules. Market demand schedule is more continuous and smooth when the compares to an individual demand schedule. In the as you see in the schedule, this as one price of the ice cream is 1 rupees, तो जो डिमांड है वो 4 है और क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड 5 है. इसे जस्ट लाइक बी टाइम पर the price of the ice cream is 2, तो जो person's demands है 3 है और quantity demand 4 है. It means as you also see, जैसे suppose anything is price is 5 rupees. So A person demanded it 100, B person demanded it 200, C person demanded it 300. Now, as you see, you say 100, 200, and 300. So it is totaling as total market demand will be 600. You can also see it, you can also understood it with the example. Suppose the price of anything become 4 rupees. Now, A person demanded is 200, B person demanded is 300, C person demanded is 400. So now you can add all the demanded. Suppose A person 200, 200, 300, 500, and 400 include 900. You can, it is also imagining example, as he suppose price of our things become 2. Now a person demanded it's 400, B person demanded it 500, C person demanded it 600. Now the totaling of the all demanded is 1500. So its types you can also measure the demand schedule. The study of the market demand schedule is of great importance of a business management on account of the many and with the following reasons. जैसे it has to make a intelligent forecast of the quantity to be sold at different prices. It means how a producer can increase their demand, and it is also helps the business executes to know the various quantities that are likely to be demanded at different prices. It also study the effects of taxes on the total demand for goods in the market, and it also help to forecast the percentage of profit due to the variation in prices and to arrange the production well in the advance. And it also help for the producer and monopolist to manipulate prices to stimulate demand for a product. And it also helps the managers to estimate its production, to estimate his production plan in according with the market demand. I think you have completely understood what is the demand. Now we also study what is the demand schedule. Demand schedule, it is a graphical representation of of demand schedule, is known as a demand curve. Now we study about the demand curve. What is the demand curve? Demand curve, it is a graphical representation of demand schedule. Which schedule we also explained before, is known as demand curve. Basically is a curve that show how quantity demanded of a commodity is related to its prices. It means a demand curve is a look is pointed, showing various alternative price quantity combination. In short, the it is a graphical presentation of demand schedule is called a demand curve. In this schedule, you are also seeing that on x-axis curve, I also take quantity, and on the y-axis curve, we also take price. Now, when the price of a commodity OP1, now demand is ON, OP1. Now demand is ON. When the price increase and it becomes OP, now demand become decrease. It become ON. When the price also increase and it becomes OP, OP dash. Now demand become become decrease and it becomes only ON. It's showing when the prices increases, demand decreases. It has a inverse relationship. So uh, present the functional relationship between quantity demanded and price of a given commodity. The demand curve has a negative slope, as you see in the diagram. Negative slope, or its slope downward to the right, as you see in this figure. It sloped downward to the right. The negative slope of the demand curve clearly indicates that quantity demanded goes on increasing, goes on increasing at price fall, and as price fall, as you see. And I also explained you in this diagrams, when the demand is OL, the price, when the price is OP dash dash, the demand is OL. And when the price become OP, the demand is OM. And when the price is OP dash, the demand is ON. Now you can also see that there is a inverse relationship between demand and price. Now we are also studying types of demand curve. There are two types of demand curve: individual demand curve and market demand curve. What is individual demand curve? Individual demand curve, before this, I have also explained the schedule of individual demand. Now we also explain what is the individual demand curve, as you see in this figure. But firstly, I also explain the meaning of the individual demand curve. Individual demand curve represent a graphical presentation of various quantities of commodity demanded via single consumer per period of time at various price of commodity, keeping all the other factor constant. As you see in this uh, diagram, uh, when the price of the commodity is 0.50 paisa, the demand is quantity demanded of which is indicate on the x-axis, and price is showing on the y-axis. When the price of the things is 0.50 paisa, now demand of the commodity is 7 units. You can see it in the figure. When the price of the commodity increase at it become 1 rupee. Now the quantity demanded becomes 5. You see here, yeah, 5. When the price also increase and it become 1.50 rupee, demand of the now the demand quantity demanded become 3.5. And when the price also increase and it become 2 rupee, now the quantity demanded become on the D point. You can see here, D point, you can see here 2.5. And at E point, when the price of the commodity become 2.50 rupee, and E point, you can see here, the demand become the demand become 1.5 units. And when the price increase and it become 3 rupees, now you see the off point, the demand of the quantity demanded of the X could become only 1. So now you can see clearly that there is a negative relationship between price and demand. I hope, Strand, you can clearly understood what is the individual demand curve. Now we study what is the market demand curve. Here you see market demand curve. It is also based on the market demand schedule. As you see here, I will also explain the figure. But firstly, I define what is the market demand curve. Market demand curve represent the diagrammatic representations of various quantities of commodity demanded by all the existing consumers. Existing consumer, well, all the consumer uh, who are in the market per period of time at various prices of commodity, keeping all the other factors constant. It is the summations of the all consumer purchasing the commodity at all various price level. You can say it is the summations. In this diagram, you can also see when the price is OP2, the demanded of a person. OP2 per the demanded of a person 2 and the demanded of the P person 3 and the demanded of the C person is 5. Two different person demanded demanded different, and when the price become sorry I wrongly explain you when the price is P1. The demanded of the E person is 2, and when the demanded of the P person is 3, and the demanded of the C person 5. And when the price become decrease, P2, the demanded of the A person, it become 4. And the demanded of the B person, it become 6. And the demanded of the C person, it become 10. So, hope strand, you can perfectly understood what is the market demand curve. Market demand curve, I also explained you that it is a diagrammatic presentation of the various quantities of the commodity demanded by the all existing consumers per period of time. Hope strand you have understood. Now reasons, I have also explained you that demand curve also downward sloping. Why demand curve is downward sloping? It is due to the law of diminishing marginal utility. In my previous video I have also explained what is the law of diminishing marginal utility, and it also the reason a product become cheaper due to the price effect. I also explained it to you, and it is also depend on the purchasing power of a consumer would go up, and it will depend on the income effect. I will also explain you further, and also cheaper product are substituted for costly products. Substitution effect. I will also explain you what is the substitution effect and what is the substitution goods in this video. Now we study what is the demand function. Demand function is a hope strength. You have perfectly understood what is demand, what is demand schedule, what is demand curve, what is individual demand curve, market demand schedule. Now we study about the demand function. What is demand function? It shows the relationship between demand for a commodity and its various determinants, which is affecting the demands. Um, D means dx is equal to quantity demanded of a commodity X. Px is equal to price of a commodity X. Py is equal to price of related commodity. By consumers' income. T taste and preferences. E consumers' further expectations, and number of population means size of population, and YT distribution of income. Now we explain what is the determinants of the demand. First of all, the determinant of the demand is price of commodity. Price of commodity, it means other things being constant. It means a particular time, other things should be constant. With a rise in price of commodities, it demand reduces because it has a inverse relationship. With a fall in the price, it demand increases, demand rises. Uh, as I have also explained you before. Now, second है price of related goods. Price of related goods. Demand for a commodity is influenced by the change in the price of related goods. Related goods, there are two types of goods. First of all, substitute goods, and next, complementary goods. Now, what is substitute goods? Substitute goods, the goods which can be used in place of each other, or which can be substituted for each other. Example, tea and coffee. You can use coffee in the place of tea. Suppose increase in the price of increase in price of tea decreases the demand for tea, and automatically increase the demand for coffee, as due to increase in the price of tea. You have understood when the substitute goods may, when the price of increase of one things, one goods, the demand of the uh, demand of the other substitute goods increases, as the increase the as due to it increase the demand for coffee, as due to increase in the price of tea, the consumers wish to the consumption of tea. It has a when the price of substitute goods of one goods is price of one goods increases, the demand of the substitute goods, other substitute goods will be increases. And now we study about the complementary goods. Complementary goods, uh, the goods which complete the demand for each other, and therefore the demanded together. Example, pen and ink, car and petrol. Suppose I will also explain you with the example, with an example. In case of complementary goods, a fall in the price of one causes increase in the demand of the other, as and a rise in the price of one causes decreases in the demand for another. Suppose the price of the petrol is fall, it causes increase in the demand of the cars, and a rise uh, a rise in the price of the petrol decreases in the demand for car. I think you have to understood what is complementary goods and what is substitute goods. Now, next है income of the consumer. Income of the consumer, how it affects on the demand. What is the income? The demand for a commodity may increase and decrease with the rise in the income, depending on nature of a commodity. Because there are different types of commodities. Because the goods are also divided into two. First of all, normal goods, and second is inferior goods. Now, question is here, what is normal goods? Normal goods, the goods whose demand increases with rise in income and decreases with fall in income, are terms as normal income, and they have positive effect and related to the income, as rice, wheat, and daily using things which we use mostly in our ordinary life. Now, what is inferior goods? Normal goods has a positive relationship with the income. When the income increases, the consumer increases the consumer increases increases buying the normal goods, and it has a positive effect. Now, inferior goods, the goods whose demand decreases with the rise in consumers' income. Because when the consumer income increases, he also increase his standard living, and he also reduce the demand of the inferior goods, and increases with the fall in income. And when the income of the consumer is decreased, he also increase the inferior goods. There is a inverse relationship between income of consumer and demand for goods. The income effect is negatively, as you can also take the example as zor, bajra, etc. So these are the things they give the negative relationship. When the income of the consumer is increases, he also demanded that inferior goods decrease, and normal goods has a positive relationship with the income. When the income of the consumer increases, he also demanded the normal goods increase. So, student, I hope you have to understood what determinants of the demand. Students, now we discuss about the factor affecting demand. Various factor affecting demands were the quantity demanded of a product. First of all, uh, as I have also make you understood, but I explain also again the price of the commodity. Uh, the, the price of a commodity shows an inverse relationship between its quantity demanded. As the price of a product falls, its demand increases. And the next day, the number of consumer, the price, the number of consumer, it is directly related. The price of is directly related to the quantity demanded of a commodity. The more number of consumer, the more is the demand for the product. As you also see in the figure and the schedule of the uh, now the price I have also explained you there are two types of related goods, substitutes and complementary goods. For example, for milk, juice is a substitute goods, and tea and coffee also substitute goods, whereas biscuits are complementary goods. If the price of milk fall, the demand for juice will be increased, and that for biscuits, complementary goods will sorry complementary goods, which goods are go together, which go together if the price of the petrol is as petrol and car. I have also give you example. When the price of petrol decrease, the demanded of car increases. Uh, so now the income, with the increment in a consumer's income, he will become capable to buying more of a particular commodities, and his income also rise. For the normal goods, income has a direct relationship, and inferior goods, it has a inverse relationship. Now, consumer expectation. If a consumer expect that the price of a certain commodity will go up in future, he will buy more of that product at present, and which will leads to hike in its demand. Now, taste and preference, it has a direct relation with the quantity demanded. Hope student, you have also understood what factors affecting demand. Now we are also studying what is the types of demand. How many types of demand? First of all, price demand. Price demand, price demand refers to various types of quantities of goods or services that a consumer will buy at a given price and given time, considering the other things remain should be constant, as income demand. Income demands. Income demand refers to various types of quantities of goods or services that a consumer will buy at different stages of income, considering other things remain constant. Now, cross demand. Cross demand, it is related to the related commodities, substitutes goods, and complementary goods. Cross demand means that the producer demand doesn't depend on its own cost, but it depends on the cost of the other related commodities, as I have also explained to you before, as substitute goods and complementary goods. Now, direct demand. Direct demand means when goods or services satisfy an individual's wants directly. It is known as direct demand. Next, fifth, direct demand or indirect demand. Direct demand, the goods means the goods or services demanded or needed for manufacturing the goods and satisfying the consumer indirectly. It is known uh, as derived, yeah, indirectly demand. Now, joint demand. To produce a product, there are many things that are related to each other. For example, to produce bread, we need services like an oven, fuel, flour mill, and more. So the demand for other additional things to produce a product is known as a joint demand. Now, composite demand. Composite demand means a composite demand can be described when goods and services are utilized for more than one causes. Example, coal. Uh, Strength, hope you have to understood well what is the meaning of demand, what is the definitions of demand, what is the demand schedule, individual demand schedule, market demand schedule, what is the demand curve, and individual demand curve, market demand curve, affected demand curve, types of demand curve. Today, you have understood all the all of them. Thank you, demand. Thank you, students, and thank you.